Greetings, what is up and a very warm welcome back to the channel. The sun is kinda hiding and the magpie is kinda casting for the first time in some time. Gonna be coming at you guys right now with a replay from the last Artifact Cup. This was Artifact Cup number 40, and we're gonna be jumping into the action here in round 2. The Artifact Cup is now a round robin format, I should explain. So each player plays each other player over a series of rounds, and then the player with the most wins, the most winningest player, is the winner of the Artifact Cup. So we jump into round 2 here with a replay between Descarra and Sparrow. Two fantastically talented players who've always been pretty much at the top end of the game, so I thought it would be fitting to start things off with them. The map here is going to be Taurian Crater, so why don't we just hop straight on in. Alrighty, looks like Descarra here going to be repping the Soban forces, whereas Sparrow is going to be playing as Galzian. Now, it's also worth pointing out that there has been a balance patch since last time I was casting. I've just had a look through the patch notes, and it all seemed to be really cool, really sensible stuff. Thank you, BBI. So yeah, basically some changes so that we see units that we don't see very often, or used to not see very often, more often. So, for example, the cruisers have pretty much had their research costs and research times decreased, because let's face it, we didn't really see cruisers that often. And there are a few other changes. One that really stuck out to me when I was reading through the patch notes was that the Coalition AAV had its armor reduced to sort of weaken its usefulness in early game rushes and things, because basically I think the problem with them was they were easy to execute but hard to defend against, and so yeah, I think Blackbird decided that something needed doing there. Anyway, right, so I haven't cast this game, or indeed generally, for a long time, so let's see how much I can remember here. As we set reveal all on, and we can now see what's going on out on the map. Looks like the customary scanner has been popped out, and the probe here is going to be moving out for Descarra. It looks like he's going to want to take a look at exactly what it is Sparrow is up to. Sparrow, I should say, you know what, player introductions, they're a thing casters are supposed to do. Spawning in the south here, playing as the sort of light blue Soban forces, it's going to be Descarra. The replay is also from his perspective, so we're going to be seeing things kind of through his eyes. And spawning in the north, playing as the black and white Galzian, it is going to be Sparrow. Okie dokie. Now, how do you... Oops. I can't remember how you turn off the HUD to make things look all cool and cinematic. It's not that either. Ah, okay. Well, there's going to be a lot of remembering how on earth to cast this game here. Anyway, as the two players here, let's just check what the research is going to be here for Descarra. So it looks like he's going to... Wow. That's some pretty quick railguns. Well, Descarra's going to be grabbing railguns. That is very interesting. Looks like we've got double production, or rather a production cruiser opening here from Sparrow. Looks like those two are going to be moving across the map, so some potential aggression here. Let's just check the carrier. No, none of the research modules have popped up just yet, so difficult to tell exactly what Sparrow's going for, but he could mount quite a lot of aggression here with two production cruisers. That is some pretty pokey material. Making some resource collectors. Are they called resource collectors? They are called salvagers. God damn, it's been a while. You're gonna have to bear with me here, guys. Anyway, looks like a support cruiser is already out here for Descarra, so he's going to be mining off of two locations here. These production cruisers, I think he saw them with the probe. I actually didn't see if he saw them with the probe or not. It's going to be a sand skimmer rush? Double production cruiser sand skimmer? Is there any tech here? Alrighty then. This is not what I thought. Back in the day, usually, when you see two production cruisers move across the map, it was usually going to be assault vehicle spam. Are they really called assault vehicles? God, it's been so long. The assault vehicle spam, usually, or possibly assault railgun spam. But, looks like Descarra now comprehends his peril here. His opening LAV is going to get picked off. Now, it's also worth pointing out, because it's going to be relevant in this fight, the Soban carrier has also been buffed in the changes, so its guns are a little bit better as far as I could tell. Like, I think it was lower firing intervals and something like that. So this carrier might be able to put out a little bit more poke than we're used to seeing. 4 Sound Skim is going to be coming through here. Going to be pushed back by the armed logistics module. Nice placement here from Descarra. Let's quickly check the tech here from Sparrow. Okay, that thing has popped up. So I think that's either railguns or assault vehicles.
Ready for assembly.
Okay, I can't remember. It's been so long since I played this game. Alright, it's railguns! Hey! So okay, railgun tech is finished, and now you can see how the like 1-2 punch of this attack that Sparrow is putting together here is going to operate. It's going to use the sand skimmers as a screen and then aim to hit home for heavy damage with the heavy railguns. Now, of course, they do have range and a lot of armor penetrations. They are a genuine threat to the carrier, and Descarra is going to have to respond by moving back here. Looks like he's up to what, 4 LAVs and a railgun of his own, now 2. So he is going to be on even footing. He's going to have a chance to defend this attack. There's a lot of sand skimmers though. If these sand skimmers take out the LAVs, sorry, and then jump on the railguns, this is over. And pretty much the only thing stopping them from doing that is this armed logistics module, as far as I can tell. Is there another one? Yeah, there's 2. Okay, 2 armed logistics modules. So Sparrow right now poised and looking for an opening. He's going to try and wiggle around and get something done. To some extent, he's already causing economic damage because these salvagers are now having to move further to the carrier. So that is some value for him there. He's long distance mining off of this location here though, so I would say right now economically, as it stands, Descarra is probably pulling in more resources, like per second if you like, or per minute, so that's pretty cool for him. The first railgun hit manages to strike the carrier, some damage beginning to come down on that, so Descarra's going to have to be careful here. Look at how he's like managing his forces here. There's like back wall of railguns, forwards wall of LAVs, kind of using his carrier as a shield right now, but he can't afford to do that too much. We're up to what, 2 heavy railguns to assault railguns. Wow, so Sparrow moving into assault railguns. The probe also gets shot down here, so a slight miscontrol there from Descarra, going to cost him his probe. But that's nothing. That's not the end of the world. That's just some utility he's no longer going to have. Looks like AAVs are out, and they're going to start deploying their smoke here to marshal this fight a little bit better for Descarra. And what a cool opening we have to this game. Let's just quickly make sure, are any players going for the artifacts? Okay, so if Sparrow could quickly get out a couple of base runners and start grabbing artifacts, that would be real pressure. But I imagine all of his attention and probably all of his resources are focused on this attack. Looks like Descarra pushing forwards using the armored might of these AAVs. Looks like he wants to try and shift this out, and Sparrow pints back as Galzian forces are wont to do, and I think Descarra is going to regret this push. I mean, he got like 1 or 2 railguns and a handful of sand skimmers, maybe 3, 4, I wasn't actually counting, and he's going to lose everything that pushed forwards, and that's why Galzian forces are so damn slippery. They repair, they're faster than you, and they usually outrange you, which means if you lose a fight, they usually kill all your stuff, like all of it, whereas if the Galzian forces lose a fight, well, they normally get to fall back and save some of their units, so that was painful there for Descarra, and he now has no LAVs. I don't believe it. I actually don't believe it. My phone's going off. I'm just going to have to call them back. Sorry, bro. I'll call them back. It's all good. It's all good. Okay, so still no... Let's just check the tech here. So, railgun, pop, 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 pop. So no other visible tech on the carrier of Sparrow. Looks like Sparrow coming forward wants to try and harass these harvesters here. A really interesting position for him. This open area here, right, this area here is like super open. Nearly no line of sight blockers, and it's always to the left of South Spawn on Torrent Crater. And it is so... If you're a Galzian player and you get an Honor Guard cruiser out or some heavy railguns in this area, as you can see, you can actually, like... It's just a disproportionately powerful place to have units with long range. Let's just put it that way. And you can see Sparrow here trying to leverage this to good effect. But credit where credit's due, Descarra. Pop in the smoke, using a screen of units here, not losing too many units, and building up a significant amount of railguns. Actually feeling ballsy enough that he wants to try and push forward and poke down some of these railguns. Manages to get one of the assault railguns here. And he's actually kind of holding this off. So Descarra, actually, a really well-managed hold. This is not easy to do. And especially this is not easy to do and sustain pretty much no economic damage, so I mean, this has to be a hold, and Descarra has been mining like more efficiently because he's had his carrier here and he's been mining off of a second location but in situ rather than long distance. So Descarra probably with the edge in this game, unless Sparrow can find some damage. Now Sparrow's not too far behind. I would love him to build a base runner or 2 and start grabbing some artifacts, because that would be like actual pressure. But that has not been the case. What a great game. By the way, can I just take a pause right here, because there's not much going on, there's no actual shots being fired. We're like 3.5 or so minutes into this game, I think. Oh, no, sorry, a bit more than that, we're like 9 minutes in, aren't we? And there's just so much action and skill and micro. I mean, like, what a game! Homeworld, Deserts of Karak. Man, it's been a while, but she still does it for me. Okie dokie. So, yeah, this uneasy standoff is going to be maintained here. Both forces just kind of toing and froing here. Wow, actually, I missed a few barrages, must have found the carrier. This carrier now ablaze, down on nearly half health. So Descarra has to yield this location. Oh, it's so close. He doesn't. Every kind of meter that he moves this carrier further away is more mining inefficiency and is more value earned by this attack from Sparrow. And he's been doing such a good job of holding it. You can't blame Descarra for wanting to minimize the value his opponent is getting from this push, but he's going to have to respect it. Brings the carrier back around here. Now, these sand dunes here will block some line of sight, so the carrier is actually much safer here. Let's check the research, actually. I've not had my eye on that whatsoever. So it looks like AAV's done, railguns done. Oh my god, it's been so long since I've even looked at a tech tree in this game that it's actually genuinely hard for me to actually see what he's researched and not, because I've been like reset to noob status. Anyway, well, we'll know what tech he has just as soon as we start seeing those units popping out. Actually, I think another thing that got buffed in the patch is the repair beam distance on like support cruisers and stuff, so that's something to look out for as this move forward. Looks like Descarra here gonna try and push back once again. Oh, this is the dangerous part. As soon as you enter this open line of sight area here, the Galzian units are just faster and they will put you down. Looks like the salt ship research did finish here for Sparrow at some point. A couple of them going to bite the dust there. And yeah, Sparrow's still committing pretty hard. 2 production cruisers committing hard. Wow, actually, these production cruisers are touch exposed. If Descarra had line of sight, a couple of volleys from this many railguns would actually smash the production cruisers. They're pretty soft to railguns. So, whoa, another good salvo from the heavy railguns. Manages to find the carrier of Descarra here. He's got to be careful. Oh, the carrier taking massive hits. He can't actually sustain that for much longer. He has to GTFO. And he's going to scurry away just now. Let's just zoom out and check the map here. Any other action? None yet. And let's just check the tech here for Sparrow. Okay, the other thing has popped up, so that's assault ships. So we already knew about that tech. Okay, so no additional tech spotted so far from Descarra. And this is a super tense matchup. Look at the amount of devastation here. All of these wrecks and all this carnage has been wrought. And it is testament to the skill of these two players. This is basically still an even game. Both of them managing their various roles very efficiently. Sparrow trying to leverage this attack for value without overcommitting, and Descarra trying to hold this attack and not give any value to it. So pretty interesting stuff so far. I mean, what Descarra has lost mainly is mining time from this location now, because his carrier has been forced back, and health on this carrier, which means his carrier is now a bit of a liability. You have to be very careful with that. And these sand skimmers, actually, if the sand skimmers, is that an arm logistics module? Okay. I feel like that's enough sand skimmers. You could jump over the sand dune and take out the arm logistics module and get on top of these resources. Maybe take out a salvager or two and deny them, because these sand dunes here will block line of sight. So if you get these units and pop them first here and then here, that will take care of the arm logistics module. And then you can probably get in on top of some of these salvagers. What are the upgrades looking like, actually? So we've got armor 1, no damage. So these sand skimmers, yeah, somewhat upgraded, not super upgraded. Nothing on the railguns. Let's check over Descarra. So he's got armor and damage upgrades going right now on his railguns, and the AAVs, of course, armor upgrades for them as well. So safe to say, actually, Descarra leading the upgrade race. So maybe these additional resources, and it's only a slight, but his edge in the resourcing may be manifesting itself here in a few more upgrades. But this army is pretty scary for Sparrow, and you can see he's like rotating down into this southern area of the map here. He's just coming from shifting down here. Now he's exploiting this open area. You can see there's like an angle between this sand dune here and this sand dune here, and he's just mooning home with his railguns up here and using his sand skimmers as a screen. And this is pretty bothersome right now for Descarra, who is actually being forced further back, with his carrier being the liability it is. I don't know if these railguns can actually draw line of sight. How do you get the line of sight checker up? Can you even do that as an observer? You definitely can. I'm just being really bad at observing because it's been so long. But anyway, yeah, I'm pretty sure, yeah, Descarra has to respect this avenue. He has to pull back, and this is problematic now. Descarra is basically being forced into a nomadic style of play. He doesn't really have any mining locations to call home at the moment. And that's a real problem. Let's check the map here and see what's going on. Some salvages going across the map, and armored assault also going across the map. Looks like an airborne probe here for Descarra is going to scout the fact that there's not much at home. So this AAV could be really bothersome when it gets across the map. Could actually shut down mining from this secondary location, for example, for Sparrow. And that would be annoying. Sparrow, though, wow, this attack has just been pretty good.
We have new bearing on hostile target.
And he's been so careful with it. It's not easy to like tread the knife's edge between like keeping pressure on your opponent but not like losing attacking units, and Sparrow's been doing this really nicely. So that's nice to see. Anyway, the AAV comes across the map and Sparrow now knows that Descarra is changing tack and trying to inflict some counter damage. Actually, Descarra's probably going to pick up a salvager or two here. AAVs are so annoying. I can see months of gone. That's my doorbell. I have to go. I'm so sorry. I will be back. Okay, welcome back. Sorry about the delay and interruption there, everybody. Just had to answer the door, but that's all dealt with now, so let me just refresh myself with where we're at in this game. Seems that... oh, that's right, yeah, so Descarra had been displaced by the attack of Sparrow. Sparrow's production cruisers down here in the south, his railguns in this location. Looks like Descarra coming in with a couple of AAVs to try and get some damage inflicted, and Sparrow responding with these sound skimmers in mid. So, we're 14 minutes in. This game very much still up in the air, no objectives for either player. Let's jump back in to the action.
Green line confirmed.
Alrighty. So this AAV has already gotten itself one kill, going to be continuously pinging in damage here. I think it only got the one, but that's still pretty good. I mean, that's kind of a free kill. Another AAV just going to be airborne, get some sweet air. But yeah, coming on in. Looks like these sand skimmers, gotta be careful here. This is probably more than these sand skimmers want to attack into. Actually, how many AAVs? How many armed assaults are here? 3. That's almost tempting to just sledgehammer in and pick up your opponent's railguns at that point. I don't know if it's worth trading that many sand skimmers for that many railguns, but I feel like it might be. Anyway. Alright, looks like Sparrow, realizing that his carrier is exposed, gonna power up the engines and try to skedaddle here, but until you get a few more research points into the, until you get a few more power points to spend, the Galzian cruiser is actually slow! That is compared to the Soban cruiser, which doesn't have speed as its systems, it just moves this fast all the time, always. So, yeah, all these sand skimmers here getting caught in a nasty choke, a lot of AAVs pinging some fire stand, looks like 1, maybe 2 will get shaved off here, so Sparrow just suffering slight further losses. Remember, Sparrow's military production is actually down here in the south, where he's mining. Oh, Sparrow, you cheeky son of a... I like that. But, yeah, the carrier doesn't really produce many offensive units, only the cruiser chassis offensive units. So, Sparrow here, producing his 3rd production cruiser. That's going to escort the carrier for now. Going to produce, it looks like, assault railguns here. And, what an interesting game. Both players having rotated around. And notice as well, like, no focus on the objectives whatsoever. Is that a base runner? Yeah, so Descarra does have a base runner. And let's check the tech for Descarra quickly. Okay, so he's got powers of 1. And he... Okay, sorry. For a second I thought he had, like, artillery missile cruiser. You know, the artillery cruiser fab. I thought he had that, but it doesn't look like he does. Looks like Sparrow here actually still pressuring, manages to find an angle here where he can get some railgun hits on the carrier, on these armored assaults, so that's pretty nice. Going to also pick off more ALMs, which is just adding more value here. What are his upgrades like on these sand skimmers? Oh man, I would love to see him get some damage upgrades, because then they'd be proper scary. I suppose that's why he didn't jump in and trade for the railguns earlier, because these railguns have got armor upgrades, and there's no damage upgrades on these sand skimmers, so it wouldn't look very good. Wow, did you see that? Was that the carrier that fired that one? I don't know. That seemed like a good hit from a carrier. Wow. Normally the Soban carrier just kind of whiffles away with its railguns and like never does any damage whatsoever to sand skimmers. But anyway. So, what a weird game. The players here have traded spawns. Descarra knows that Sparrow's cruiser is exposed here and is like limping. Well, I say limping, it's not damaged, but it's kind of like, you know, desperately trying to escape here. He could try and pursue it, but the Soban army not particularly rapid. So I don't think he'll be able to catch it in any significant way. He might get a few hits on it, but I don't think there's like any opportunity for him to get anything done there. And look how well Sparrow, I mean, Descarra has moved from here, he's like rotated around the map to here, but look how well Sparrow has controlled the map, you know? Just using his sand skimmers to keep constant like eyes on his opponent, making sure Descarra doesn't feel comfortable. Like, Descarra's zone of influence in this game is this, whereas Sparrow's zone of influence is this. So again, actually, I would really like it if Sparrow would have just had one base runner, or like 2 would have been fantastic, but if he had one base runner, he could just be snatching artifacts. And actually, look at this. Descarra managed to swipe the artifact from this location with that base runner that we spotted earlier. Gonna bring it to the extraction zone. That will put him in the lead in objectives. So that's not nothing. Gives him a little bit of power to, you know, give his carrier a little bit more juice to play with. But this kind of does put the pressure on Sparrow to at least equalize on artifacts, because we're more than halfway through the timer. Only 11 minutes 50 seconds remain on the timer here, and you know, 1-0, 1-0, 1-0, 1-0 to Descarra. Means that in the event of a timeout, he will win. So yeah, Sparrow now has like 11.5 minutes to grab an artifact or kill his opponent to not die. So just a bit more pressure on him there, and I like that from Descarra, just getting some additional value. These sand skimmers kind of getting fed in for no value. I don't know why they kind of ran past all the armed assaults there. That was pretty costly for Sparrow. I don't know what he's going to get out of this. Did he get anything good out of it? I don't know. Uh-oh, but the carrier here is going to... Oh, whoa, 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 there's way too many railguns. That's probably game. That is probably game. This carrier just doesn't have enough health to sustain this kind of abuse from the railguns. Boom. That is game. Oh, wow. Just hedged into a box there, and Sparrow manages to find an angle for his heavy railguns like a knife to get on in there and destroy his opponent's carrier. Wow. I feel like that was a game where Sparrow... It was a really well fought game from Descarra, but I feel like Sparrow just was like one step ahead and had the upper hand like throughout. There was no moment in that game where I thought Sparrow was really flustered, and Descarra was like just bit by bit, you know, he got agonizingly pushed back off of this position here and then rotated around the map and just doing what he could do, but Sparrow had complete map control all of the time, and it looked like he was just waiting for an opportunity to pounce on that carrier and take it out, rather than going for the artifacts or any nonsense like that. Nah, he just was looking for that carrier kill, and he did find it. So well played by Sparrow. That was really cool. I'll tell you what else is really cool. Casting Deserts of Karak. Woo! It's good to be back. I love Deserts of Karak. It's such a good game. Like, I think it is literally one of the... I say this all the time. It wouldn't be a Magpie Deserts of Karak cast if I didn't say Deserts of Karak is one of the best RTSs of all time. But I really think it's just a really good RTS. Like, the decisions, the micro, the pacing, the game design, like... It's just great. It's nice to be back. So anyway, I'm going to rock on and cast some of the other games from Artifact Cup number 40. There's hopefully more fantastic games. I'm also going to cast some games with some lesser known and indeed new players, just to maybe give some insight and show play at different levels and check out the new crop of players who are coming through the Artifact Cup at the moment. But rest assured, there are other battles. I've tagged a couple of the other replays with some well-known names that ought to be a good fight. So anyway, thanks very much for watching. Stay tuned for more coming soon. And this for now is Magpie842 signing out. It's been so long. I believe I pressed this button to sign out. Okay, maybe it's this one.